My dear students, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I'm M. Shafiul Haq welcoming you to my class. The last day we discussed till example 23. Today we'll start example 24. We need to express this fraction into partial fractions. This is a proper fraction. To convert this into a partial fraction, you need to find out how many factors are there. There are 3 factors, so you need to think of 3 variables to convert this into partial fraction. So we will write like this: a by x minus 1, b by x minus 2, and c by x minus 3. On both sides of this equation we will multiply what? We will multiply the LCM of the denominator, and that is x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3. If we multiply this on the both sides of this equation will be no more a fraction. This will be like this. So when we will get this, now our target is to find out the value of a, b and c. So to find out the value of a, b and c, what will we try? First we will try to make any of the variable vanished. So we need to make the coefficient, any of the coefficients 0. If you put x is equal to 1, then the coefficient of b and the coefficient of c will be 0. So b and c will be vanished, and 1 plus 5 and a into minus 1 minus 2, that is 6. So you will get the value of a 3. Say a is equal to 3. Now again for finding out the value of b, we will put x is equal to 2. So if we put x is equal to 2, so coefficient of a and coefficient of c will be 0, because 2 minus 2 cancel, 2 minus 2 cancel, it will be 0, 0. So you will get what? 2 plus 5, that is 7, and the coefficients of b will remain, that is 1, and minus 1, that is minus b. So 7, that means b is equal to minus 7. Now similarly, to find out the value of c, we will put x is equal to 3. So the coefficient of a and coefficient of b will be 0. So 3 plus 5 is equal to c into 3 minus 2, and the 3 minus 1 and 3 minus 2, that is 2, that is 8 is equal to, so c is equal to 4. So now we have got all the values of a, b and c, and that means the partial fraction of x plus 5 divided by x minus 1, x minus 2 and x minus 3 is equal to 3 by x minus 1 minus 7 by x minus 2 plus 4 by x minus 3. Since the value of b is equal to minus 7, so we have put here a minus. Now we will discuss example 25. In example 25, x minus 1, x minus 2, that means this is a, which type of fraction is this? Proper or improper? So this is an improper fraction, because the degree of the numerator and denominator are equal. So dividing the numerator by denominator, that means if you divide the, here is x x square. Here is x and x square. So if you divide it, the highest degree term, you will get 1. Coefficients will be 1, the x square will be vanished and there will be 1. So they are dividing numerator by the denominator, we will get 1. That's why we will put here 1 plus, then as usual as the previous problems, a by x minus 2 and b by x minus 3. Because this is an improper fraction, we need to take this 1, and because there is x into x square, there is x into x square, x square divided by x square is equal to 1. That's why we are taking here 1, multiplying x minus 2, x minus 4 on both sides of 1. What? Multiply, we will get this like this, it will be no more a fraction. So from this equation you can find out the value of a and b. So similarly, like the previous problems, if you put the value of x is equal to 2, then b will be vanished, coefficient of b will be 0. Then we will find out the value of a, it will be 3 by 2. And similarly, like this, 4 minus 1, 4 minus 5, we will put the value of x is equal to 4. If we put the value of x is equal to 4, the coefficient of a will be vanished. Then we can find out the value of b, b is equal to minus 3 by 2. Now putting the values of a and b in 1, we will get this partial fraction. So the only difference is this fraction is an improper fraction. That's why we need to take an extra part, the constant part, by dividing the numerator by the denominator. And other processes are similar to the previous problem. Now we will start discussing this fraction, example 26. Here, twice x cube divided by x minus 1 into x minus 2 into x minus 3. This fraction needs to be converted into partial fraction. Here, if you take the if you multiply, the highest degree will be x cube, and with x cube there will be coefficient 1. So if you divide the numerator by the denominator, we will get, what will we get? When the highest degree is x cube, but here twice x cube, so x cube will be there will be 2 will remain. So dividing a numerator by denominator, we get 2. That's why we will consider this partial fraction, the first part of this partial fraction will be 2 plus the others will be similar to the previous problems. That means a by x minus 1 plus b by x minus 2 plus c by x minus 3. This 2 becomes this 2 is the only difference from the last problem, because here is the coefficient of the highest degree is 2. Now on both sides of this equation, multiply the LCM of the fractions. So it will be, the equation will become it will not be a fraction anymore. So you will get this equation, and now you need to find out the value of a, b and c. So to find out the value of a, b and c, the procedure is similar to the previous problem. Putting the value of x, you'll see that the coefficient of b and the coefficient of c will be 0. So b and c will be vanished, and you can find out the value of a, and the value will be a is equal to 1. And again, putting the value of x is equal to 2, the coefficient of a and coefficient of c will be 0. So a and c will be vanished, b will remain. So you can find out the value of b, and the value will be minus 16. And similarly, x is equal to 3, that time the coefficient of a and coefficient of b will be 0, and a and b will be vanished, so you can find out the value of c. The value will be 27. So now you can write the partial fraction. What will be the partial fraction? The 2 plus 1 by x minus 1 minus 16, because the value of b has become minus 16, so you will put the minus here, and 16 by x minus 2 plus 27 by x minus 3, which is desired partial fraction. So this fraction is a partial fraction of 2x cubed divided by x minus 1, x minus 2, and x minus 3. I think this is enough for today's class. So you need to practice similar problems. I will assign you homework. So your homework will be exercise 2, page number 66, question number 11, 1, question number 2, and question number 3. These 3 will be your homework. Solve it because these 3 is in the types which have been discussed in today's class and in your previous class. So thanks for today. See you on the next class. Till that, Allah Hafiz.